every hero needs a utility belt. This one had one in the original drawing, so I decided, hey, this is a good opportunity to show how to add multiple materials to a single mesh, and it uses the UV mapped one as well as non-UV mapped ones, and I also get to show some cool stuff on textures as well as the array modifier and some other tricks. I've been debating whether to give this guy a belt, and if so, how to do it. Should I just draw it on the UV, or should I add a physical one? And I mean, I kind of like how he looks now, but I was thinking about it, and there's a couple tricks I can, I should say not tricks, but techniques I can show you if I do the belt. And if you don't like it, or if I don't like it, we can just get rid of it. But I think it might be worth showing. So first of all, let's get this workspace some workable fashion, which I'll just do a join, and I'm going to select this armature and make sure, okay, we don't have any action on there right now, which is good. So I'm just going to make sure I'm back at frame 1. And then I'll clear everything. I wonder, I got rid of my timeline, but easy enough to bring it back. Make sure that auto recording is still off. It is. Alt-R, Alt-G. Alright, so to make a belt, I want to make a belt like the one in the picture. Do I have the picture? I don't have the picture here, but I could open it. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. So it's got this circle thing and these other things going around. So I'm just going to do my own version of it. Something close in the neighborhood. Let me take some geometry from our guy. I don't want this on. I just want to be able to select the belt here. It'd probably be smarter just to go Alt-right click, Shift, Alt-right click, and then I'll do Shift D, Escape, P to separate. Now it's its own thing. Let me exit, select the figure. Let's hide it for the moment. Let's look at the modifiers for the new object, because it acquired the modifiers of the object it came from, which we don't need the armature on it. And really we don't need the subsurface right now. So let's do this. Let's take this and change to median point, which you could do Control comma 2, scale Z0, enter. Let's grab these, scale Z0, enter. And then let's see, for this mesh, let's do control. Look at this mesh, has all these other groups that it got from its parent, but that's not a big deal because we're going to be rejoining it eventually anyway. So I'm going to call this the belt band. And that'll be the band, and maybe we'll give it a little thickness with the solidify. So let's see. I say offset 0, so it goes out. And I'll give it a little more thickness. And then what we can do is bring our figure back. See, so we're gonna then shift select the figure so it's the active thing, and then I'm going to do Control J to join it. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to apply the modifier. So undo. Let's just select the belt. Let's apply our solidify. Select the body again. Control J. There we go. See, that looks nice. Looks nice. Almost good enough. But what are we going to do? We have to weight paint it. So we can Control Tab and see how that's doing. Let's turn off well, that's looking pretty good to me. You know why? Because we started with mesh that already had weight on it. So that's a happy discovery. Now let's make the device thing on here. So I'm just going to hide the figure again. Get out of pose mode and hide that armature. And this empty, I'm going to hide that too. Isn't that our floor empty? We should check to see if that's still in the right spot. So Shift A, we're just going to add a circle. Let's look at that from the top. And open our tool shelf and say, hey, I only want 8 sides on that. And then go into edit mode. We're going to need this smaller, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's just model it to proportion, and then we can scale it to fit. Let's just make it look right. So extrude, escape, scale. Let's say about, oh, there. Select these all. Then let's extrude up. Rotate a little bit. Control R. Left click, escape. G, Z. Move that up. Let's just see how this looks with the subsurface on it. With 2, just like what the model would have. And if we smooth shade it, that looks nice to me. So now let's go back in. Z. Select these. Let's do a Shift D, escape, P, enter, tab, right click. Sorry. Let's go into edit mode for this guy and type G. Move it along the X. And then let's join up these points. W, merge, center. W, merge, oop, undo. Usually Blender comes back in the same spot that you left off in. I'm not sure why. You know, the menu, it's usually highlighting whatever you last had highlighted. W, see there. And that time it ended up on remove doubles. That's interesting. So let's see. take a look at these. Oh, that looks a little funky. How about if we do a ring cut? Bring that down. And then, what the heck, let's do the same for this. I'm not sure we'll need this because I'm going to end up pushing this right into the guy. But that feels pretty good. Move this in some more. Now I'm going to, let's see, let's add an array modifier. And we'll give it 2. And let's do a constant offset. Something like that. And I want to make these a little bit smaller. Each of those smaller. So I'm going to just, what do we call this? Circle. I'm going to say object offset with circle. No, actually, I'm not going to use circle. Let's do Shift S, cursor to center, Shift A, let's give another empty. I'm going to give one with just plain axes, that's fine. And then let's go scale 0.8. So it's been scaled. Now I'm going to, let's see, what do we call this? Empty 001. Let's give it empty 001. So 0.008 is probably too much. If actually I want to that's not bad, but I'm just going to scale up a small amount. There we go. Tuck these in a little bit closer. And then let's go ahead and throw on a mirror modifier. That looks good. And then let's apply the array, apply the mirror. We're not going to apply the subsurfacing. In fact, let's, I'm not going to do it for that one either. But we can join these. Let's make them flat shade for now. That looks kind of neat, but we're going to have them around. But for future reference, I like that. What I want now is I'm going to select this in our original circle. Oh, we don't need that array, that empty anymore, so let's just clean up and get rid of it. So here's our circle. Let's do a Shift D, and then Escape P. I'm just separating again, going back, and then I'm going to the circle, just so I can work with the circle. And then on the number pad, /, let's look down on that. Go into edit mode, whack these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I don't want to whack those. What do you think about that? How about this? We do a F, W, subdivide. Let's make a face there. Make a face there. Let's mirror that. Clipping. Apply. Go back in. Let's make sure we don't have any doubles. We didn't. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a material just for the center part. say new material. We want it to be that glowy cyan color. I could go in here and like force just to, yes, I know this is like perfect cyan right there. I want that, sure. Why not? I'm going to try emitting just a small amount of light, not a lot, because we already have a couple things emitting on the guy. I don't want it to be visually really noisy. I might even turn that off if it doesn't look good. But let's now add a texture. New texture. Let's just do a blend. And for our blend, let's see, I'm going to want it to affect color and emission. Let's do a ramp. I'm going to give us more room there so we can see what we're doing. Let's click on that one. Left click on that one and just drag. And let's click add. And then for this one, let's go in, make it white, no alpha. Oh, sorry, wrong one. There we go. And then let's see. How do we want this? Probably spherical. There we go. There we go. Let's see, how's that look there? And then let me check the mapping. Generated flat. It's probably okay. Let's look at this rendered. Oh, that's nice. We just need to adjust the size of this. There we go. So we can have a nice glowing thing in the center. There we go. Wonder if we can see it textured. Nope. So, but it'll render. Now let's do an Alt-H. Oh, not Alt-H. We want to just go on our keypad, / again. Exit. We were in local, so we just wanted to exit that. So now, got our glowy thing, got our belt. Let's bring the guy back, Alt-H. And we've our massive belt. Oh, one thing I didn't do is let's make sure that this circle joins that. Now, that's not the effect I wanted. So I'm just going to do undo a couple times and hide the figure again so I don't drive you guys crazy. Let me make a new texture here. And maybe we'll just give a little bit of shininess. And maybe make it a little darker metal. Alright, so good names wouldn't hurt. This is belt, let's say metal. And in here, let's say belt center. And the texture for it, belt center. So now when we join these, they each have their own textures, so they don't overwrite each other. And now what's neat is come over here, and you can see that belt metal is on this object, and belt center is on here too. Let's see if we can fix that. And if you go over, when you have belt center selected, go over to textures. Here's your belt center. Now let's bring that guy back. You know what? Let's do a save. We've gotten pretty far. Let's do a save, and we'll come back and apply it on the next one. Welcome back. Now let's apply the belt to this guy. Alt-H. Select the armature. We could just set it in rest pose if we want, just to make sure it stays that way. R45 along the X. 45, what am I thinking? R90 along the X. Go up along the Z. Scale it down. Move it forward along the Y. Shift B, let's get a close-up. And scale it down some more. Now, inside here, inside the belt, we've got this. We could make our lives easier by bringing this forward some, so that way we can push the belt into his body some. Well, you decide how big you want that belt. I'm gonna tilt it just slightly because he's kind of tilted, and then I'm gonna do Alt B so I can see just this part of his body. And that's not bad. It just needs a small amount of curvature. So I'm going to go in. And then turn on proportional editing. Select right down the center. Type G. Go just along the Y. Just a small amount there. So I can see where we're going in. It's like we could tilt it. We're losing our center face of the belt. I don't know, I don't mind, I don't want it tilting totally down. So now that we're in here, let's do Alt B, and before I merge this all, I'm going to select all of this and make sure I have that vertex group. Control G, assign a new group. Let's call this belt. Tab out of here, select the body, and then do Control J. And we want smooth shading. There we go. And let's turn that on rendered to see how that guy looks. Oh, I'd like his belt to be a little higher. And maybe a different color. Maybe the black color that we've been using. So I'm going to select the belt band. Select. And this is the line of color, which actually, it might be wiser to go in to our UV image editor, find our costume. Oh, make sure I'm selecting something that relates to having the costume as the image. There we go. And maybe just come in here, maybe hit this with our sample of the magenta. Do a quick texture paint. And paint along the belt area to just cover that up. Of course, we want to restrict it to just the vertices that are relevant. So, Control Tab, Face, Alt right click. I don't want the belt band at the moment, so let's just select the belt band, hide it. Then we'll do our Alt right click, tab out, no, that's too, we don't want to go all the way down, we just want to hit along here. That should be fine. Alt Z. Doesn't that look funny? We need to show our belt. Alt H. And come back. And we need to give our belt a nice material. How about we sample this dark color, and then we do, let's do add another material, and let's say new, we'll call this belt band, and I'll just click that. in the materials, we want to click assign so that we're assigning that material just to those vertices. There we go. I should probably switch this to the tune, similar I've been doing for whatever the costume is set for. Oh, yeah. Let's keep that like that. And the costume was size 1.134. You can roll over here and without clicking, Control C, and then roll over your target and say Control V, again without clicking. It's a Blender thing. Let's see how he's looking all right. Let's see how the weight painting's doing. I'm thinking that we want to select the belt and the belt band. Come back to our weight painting. Let's turn that off and select the hips. Control Tab, pose mode. We're in the weight painting. Let's see. Just want to make sure they're selected. And do Shift K. So it's with the hips. Now this area right under here is not 100% with the hips either. Let's try changing that. Hopefully we don't mess up our figure. Some of these vertices or these edges get a little close for comfort. What we can do is, again, make sure our X mirror is on. Turn off proportional editing. It would be easier to grab a vertex. Just pull that out the direction I want to pull it out. Here we go. So I'm just checking before I say enough's enough. I'm going to go back to our dope sheet action editor. Let's select, like, say, the run action, which is what we're doing, and scrub it. Might be nicer if we switch to object mode and texture rendering. Yeah, I don't know if I'm crazy about the belt, but the original guy had it. I'm I'm not sure what happened to his arm. So just to be safe, to avoid just in case something bad happened to it, let's do File, Append. Let's go back to the previous one. Actions, Run Action, Link or Append. It'll come in as Run 001. And let's switch that. That's interesting. Let's go back a couple more, huh? Append. That's why it's always good to save revisions of your Blender work. This will be Run 002. Well, let's try switching out with Punch. Does Punch look all right? Punch looks fine. Idle. He's not having any arm problems there. Let's go back to Run. Huh. Now it's happy. Although it does not seem like it's in the right position. So in this case, what I'm going to do is go to the Start keyframe. I'm just going to fix it real quick. That looks all right. Looks all right. That's really interesting. So seems like tweaking it set it back, which is extra interesting because we don't have auto keyframing turned on. Seemed like it just needed to reorient itself once I moved it. All right. We've got our belt, got our guy happily running again. What's next? How about saving? And don't forget to save the changes to your UV image